Hi there, I'm Kate McClellan, and I've been a professional wedding planner for over 20 years now. I started Planning Collective when I noticed that though most couples are super excited about getting engaged, they quickly feel overwhelmed and intimidated by the actual process of planning their weddings. If left unchecked, this can lead to massive burnout and the urge to scrap all your plans and just elope. While this is totally normal, you don't have to sacrifice your sanity for your dream wedding. In the Wedding Planning Collective podcast, I'm going to share the processes, tips, and tools that all engaged couples like you need to feel confident, supported, and excited about your wedding plans again. Let's get started. Hey there, before we get to the episode, I have a quick question for you. Have you been unsuccessfully trying to shake that feeling that you're forgetting something when it comes to your wedding? You've got the Knot app and you've downloaded countless other planning checklists, but you just can't get rid of that sneaking suspicion that there's something you don't know yet. It's a very common feeling when it comes to wedding planning. So much so that I decided to put together a free resource to help get rid of what I call FOWO, the fear of wedding oversight. Yes, it does include that 12-month task checklist, but that's just the start. In addition to the ultimate wedding planning checklist, my new Don't Forget list also includes a wedding vendor checklist, your shopping list, a packing list for the wedding weekend, and a complete wedding item setup list to make sure that you are truly not forgetting anything when it comes to your wedding. And you heard me right, this list is free for you to grab right now. Just head over to planningcollective.com/forgetting and it's all yours. That's planningcollective.com/FORGETTING, and let's get rid of that FOWO together. All right, let's get on to the episode. Hey guys, Kate here. Welcome back to another episode of the Wedding Planning Collective podcast. Today, we're diving into one of my favorite topics, and that's Amazon Prime Day wedding shopping. Now, I've certainly covered Prime Day and Black Friday shopping for your wedding in past episodes, but today we're going to dig a little bit deeper in this episode. Weddings are so expensive, so let's talk about some of the ways you can save a little cash. Before we get into the list, let's do a little Prime Day prep to help you make the most of the sales. First off, I want to note that this episode is going out on June 25th, 2025, which gives you about 2 weeks of prep before the sale actually starts, which is scheduled from July 8th through the 11th. Now, if you're finding this episode in the future, make sure to take note that Amazon has done a few Prime Days in the past, happening in July and then again in October. So likely there will be another one coming up soon. But in addition to that, this list and what we're going to talk about often applies to Black Friday deals as well. So make sure to save this episode for when the holidays come around. Second, make sure that your Amazon Prime membership is active. This might sound silly, but some people either share Prime accounts or maybe they only sign up during certain times of the year. So you're going to want to make sure that you're either doing your free trial or that you join for the month of the sale to make sure that you are getting the best deals. Now, I'm not going to say use somebody else's account, but you know how to go from there. Third, let's create a wish list or a shopping list in the next 2 weeks. So if you're watching this live, if you're listening to this when the episode first goes out, use these 2 weeks to prep for what you need. Create a wish list or a shopping list so that you can keep an eye and monitor the pricing to be the best prepared for when the sales go live. Fourth, set a budget. You know, we always talk about budgets. This is a perfect example of where your budget can kind of spiral out of control because a lot of times Prime Day purchases are smaller items that you might not think need to go to the budget. And maybe they don't. If they're items that you genuinely are not putting towards the wedding budget, then that's a little bit different. But these are the items that often add up. So maybe it's only a $50 or $100 purchase, but if you do that a few times, it really starts to eat away at the budget. So just like everything else with wedding planning, you need to make sure that you are keeping track of where this is going within your overall budget. It can really make a big impact if you don't. Now, remember that miscellaneous fund that we've talked about in the previous budget episodes? This is usually the category where these purchases are going to come from. So again, just make sure that you are keeping an eye, especially if you have a rather tight budget, so this doesn't end up pulling from something else that might be a priority for you. Number 5, I'm sure most of you already have the app on your phone, but if not, now is the perfect time to download the app so you can set the notifications to go off if there are items that are going on sale. I know it can be really annoying to get those notifications, but during Prime days, a lot of times there are some deals that are only offered for a short amount of time. Some are even only an hour for like their lightning deals. Might not be a big deal, but if you have your eye on like a larger item, then that could really help you save in making sure that you catch that deal. And number 6, make sure that you are keeping an eye on those delivery timelines, especially if your wedding is coming up soon. You don't want delayed shipment creating any last minute stress, and we all know that shipping can be a bit unpredictable these days. And finally, if you are listening on the go, make sure that you pull over for a quick second, take a little break on the treadmill, or turn off the vacuum. Go over to planningcollective.com/Prime Day because I'm going to have all of this listed for you so you don't have to worry about missing a thing. Okay, for real, finally this time, one disclaimer that I do want to note. This episode and the list on the website that we're talking about is not sponsored. It is a general list of what categories or items you should be looking to purchase that you can get some good deals on during Prime or Black Friday shopping. It is not affiliated with any specific products. However, if you are looking for some specific recommendations, you can head over to my Amazon storefront, which I'll link in the show notes and also on the blog. That's where I'm going to show some specifics that I might recommend. All right, let's get started with one of the easiest wins for Amazon Prime Shopping Day, and that is with your wedding party and parent or family gifts. These can really sneak up on you, so Prime Day is a great time to knock them out. Think about jewelry or accessories for the big day. If you want to have like matching robes or PJ sets for getting ready photos, fun socks or ties for the groomsmen, maybe custom flasks or drinkware that you might be using throughout the day, or again, as you're prepping and getting ready. Personalized totes, makeup bags, or dop kits are fantastic for gifts for your wedding party, or again, maybe like mugs or tumblers with their names on them. So much fun and great for photos. And a little extra planning tip. This is a perfect category to take care of during the lull of wedding planning. If you're purchasing these items ahead of time, take care of wrapping or packaging them for the wedding party when they arrive. I can't tell you how many times couples have been late to rehearsals because they're in a panic doing this last minute wrapping or preparing the gifts for their wedding party or family. Time moves so much faster the week of your wedding than any other week of the year. So your future self will really thank you if there's anything you can knock off the list ahead of time. Next up is beauty and self-care items. If you've had your eye on a few beauty items, this is a great excuse for a little splurge to treat yourself and your skin. Look out for deals on those under eye patches. Those are great for the morning of, and of course, in the prep to your wedding. Teeth whitening strips or kits, serums, moisturizers, or anything that's part of your normal routine that you might need restocking over the next couple months. Self-tanner, if that's part of your wedding prep plan. Curling wands, blowout brushes, or fingers crossed that we see some deals on those like Dyson Airwraps. I know that's definitely on my list to look out for. And then finally, DIY like lashes or nails for not just the wedding weekend, but bachelorette, showers, whatever might be coming up in your near future. One thing about beauty items, make sure that you are not trying anything new, especially on your skin, for the first time, like in the month before your wedding. Definitely give yourself time to test out new products so that you make sure that you're not going to have like a rash or some kind of reaction. And you definitely don't want to have like a self-tanner gone wrong moment the week of your wedding. Another great category that you can knock out with the Amazon Prime deals are going to be for hotel welcome supplies. So if you're planning on doing hotel welcome bags, you can keep an eye out for the actual bags or boxes, whatever that you're planning on using. Most of the time, it's like a little paper bag, the tissue or the filler that you're going to use for it. Again, nice to get that out of the way. Any snacks, water bottles, mints, though, depending on when your wedding is, of course, think about the expiration date for any of those products. If you're planning on doing like a little hangover kit with items like liquid IV, Advil, lip balm, something that will help them in the morning if they're feeling a little bit tired after the wedding, keep an eye out for those products. And then you can also find cute little labels or personalized stickers that you can use to make these bags feel a little bit more customized. Another pro tip here, just like your family and wedding party gifts, the hotel bags are another thing that you can take care of early on. Well, you can't drop them off to the hotel too early. You can get them assembled and done in advance, and then that takes one more thing off your list for the week of the wedding. Moving on to your ceremony and reception, let's talk about some prime deals that can make a huge difference by purchasing ahead of time. Photo details like a nice ring box, maybe some fancy perfume bottles, or other details that you'll want in those what we call flat lay photos. If you're doing your own ceremony arch or pieces for like aisle decor, this can be a great time to grab those items. A card box, but do make sure that there is a lock, especially if you're at a venue that is either open to the public or will have multiple events going on the same day. Get the one with the lock. A guest book or an alternative like a signature frame, always perfect to have something that you can have your guest sign that you can hang up in your home afterwards. If you're doing custom signage or like neon signs, you can grab some deals on those during Prime Day. Table numbers, escort cards, and easels. Don't forget the easels. Now's a great time to grab those. If you're doing favors or the packaging, like the organza bags or little stickers to put on those. Prime Day is a perfect time to stock up on flameless candles or votives, those taper sets that you're using. Do not forget the batteries because, again, sometimes you can get those on Prime sale as well. If the batteries aren't on sale, I recommend you head over to Costco. They have massive packs of batteries that are usually not too expensive. If you're looking for some items to brighten up your dance floor, like those dance floor sparklers or LED lights, put those on your list. If you're doing a DIY photo booth or if you want to have Polaroid cameras and film, those often go on sale along with photo booth props or those photo booth background kits. You can grab some of that. Fancy stationery paper for like the menus, programs, or thank yous. Maybe you're not ready to print them yet, but you can purchase the actual paper products. And if you're using disposables for your meal and bar services, now is a great time to stock up on that. So grab disposable plates, cutlery, napkins. Think about desserts and the appetizers too, because it's easy to forget about those if you're focused on the dinner. Flip-flops and a basket for the dance floor. And finally, items for a bathroom basket. If you're planning on doing that, you can grab like mini deodorants, stain remover pens, hairspray, those kind of items. You might even be able to find some already pre-assembled that you just purchased already done for you. And a little pro tip, if you are doing a lot of DIY items, check out Cricut machines because I've often seen that those are almost always on sale or some of those accessories. So if you're planning on doing your own signage or like making your own tumbler, personalized cups, things like that, check out the Cricut sales and hopefully you can snag something there. All right, final category. If you are having an outdoor wedding or if any part of your day will involve the outdoors, you might want to look into a couple of things that you may need to have or you just want to be ready for. So keep an eye out for pedestal fans or clip-on fans, bug spray or citronella candles, and clear or large black golf umbrellas, just in case it starts to sprinkle during your photo sessions. Those are amazing in photos, but you definitely want to have enough for your whole wedding party. For items that you're hoping to return, it might not be worth it to get the sale on the items if it means you're missing the return window. So even though Amazon is pretty decent with most of their items, usually you get a couple of months to return the items. If your wedding is like next summer, you probably want to hold off on purchasing those. Maybe you can snag them during like the Black Friday deal. Check out the return window though, because you don't want to have like 20 golf umbrellas that you can't return. Of course, you can always sell them on like bridal Facebook groups, but if you can hold off on those, just keep that in mind. Okay, as we're wrapping up, let's talk about a few final shopping tips to keep in mind during Prime Day sales. It's not super common, and I know Amazon tries to keep it from happening, but some sellers do bump up prices in these couple of weeks before so that it looks like a bigger discount during the Prime sale. Check the price history if possible, especially for bigger purchases. And I'm going to say it again, make sure you're buying from sellers with clear return policies, especially if they're bulk items or anything that you're not sure you're going to need to keep. And going off Amazon for a little bit, don't forget the smaller businesses or Etsy sellers. Prime Day is fantastic, but you might find some awesome creators that won't make the algorithm's front page. I've also noticed that in the past, some of the smaller businesses on like Etsy will run parallel promotions with Prime Day, even if they're not on the actual Amazon platform. And if you want to know what's on my Prime Day watch list, here's a sneak peek of what I'm keeping an eye on my wish list. Portable fans with USB and battery backups. These are perfect for summer weddings and outdoor photo sessions to have something to cool you down and get rid of that little glow that you might not want in your photos. Vases, candles, and glassware for guest tables. Portable steamers. I'm so excited for a little upgrade to my emergency kit. There is one currently in my storefront that I'm hoping I see Prime deals on. Bluetooth speakers. So if you need DIY music for in the morning, in the hotel room, whatever it might be, getting an upgrade to a Bluetooth speaker is something I'm looking to have on my list. And this final one isn't wedding related at all, but I'm going to share it anyway. I've been working on a little office redecorating. If you're watching on YouTube, hopefully you noticed the paint changes. And I'm trying to figure out what to do with this bookshelf and something in this corner here. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Super bonus points if there are Prime Day deals. So I'm keeping an eye on some like office decor items because this is getting out of control and I got to figure it out. Remember, you can get this full list at planningcollective.com/Prime Day and all of my curated favorites in my Amazon storefront, which will be linked below. All right, my friends, I have a challenge for you now. I want you to pick 3 wedding related items to check off your list during the Prime Day sale. That's it. 3 things that will save you money and stress later on. Head over to the Wedding Planning Collective Facebook group and share your finds there. I'm going to have a pinned post so we can all share what deals we're finding and help each other save. And that's it for this week's episode. If this podcast gave you even one helpful tip, I would love it if you could rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. It helps other couples find the planning help that they need. And honestly, it helps me grow this little business and keep the free wedding planning tips coming. So if you've got 30 seconds, I'd be forever grateful. As always, thanks for hanging out with me here and happy shopping.